Arches and bridges all over southeastern Utah. They are everywhere, and we visited a whole bunch of them. So we're going to hang out here for a little while. From this point down, there's very little shade until you get to the arch. Then there's all kinds of shade.
It's probably why they built their little house there behind you.
Yeah.
You can see why they built it here.
Yeah. But the first thing we did when we got to Birch Cyn Road, which is where we did our boondocking, is we took a little bike ride and then did some drone practice. And I need practice because as I took off with the drone, I was having trouble seeing where I was going. And as you can tell from this video, really cool territory, but it's a bit distorted. What I didn't realize is that I still had the gimbal protector on. And it's clear, you can see through it, but it's supposed to be taken off before flight. It protects the camera gimbal assembly, which works amazingly well. But minus the ability to be able to see clearly where I was going, I was a bit nervous flying around. At least I was able to return home. Now after that got corrected, everything came in so much clearer, so much better. So we explored the upstream portion of White Canyon. So this would have been to the east of the park. So the canyon here, carved out by the water over a few thousand years, has left just amazing, really cool structures. And I like to fly my drone close to them. I've always had a very deep appreciation for the beauty of God's creation, even before I knew that it was He who created all of this. And being able to get out into it is always a good day for us. And I'm really glad that Kelly appreciates being able to enjoy these experiences as well. She could see some of these formations off in the distance and really wanted to get the close-up view of them. And as of the posting of this video, she has not even seen this drone stuff yet, so she's looking forward to it. After a little bit of practice getting close to some of these rock formations in Valley of the Gods, I was getting a little more comfortable with my drone skills. Still nervous the whole time though. There were times when I would actually lose signal of the drone. Oftentimes, going too low in altitude or going behind structures, the controller would lose contact with the drone, and I'd just have to let it sit for just a little bit, and eventually it would regain contact, and then I would move the drone back to a safe location. I didn't get as close to some of these as I wanted to. I could already tell it was going to be trouble, so I just avoided that trouble. You really can't appreciate the beauty that the drone is picking up, the imagery that you're seeing in the places where you go flying while you're in the process of controlling the drone. You're trying to avoid treetops, getting too close to rocks and other structures. High altitude can also be a detriment to these drones, as there's less oxygen for the props to push down from. And high winds themselves can also produce a lot of turbulence, and the drone will actually give me warnings. It's nice to be able to use these devices when you're in a secluded area. You don't want to be that guy who's annoying people with your buzzy drone. I didn't see anyone out here. Other than a few campers that we passed on the road out here, people boondocking out here in this gorgeous beauty, we didn't really see anyone. This location here was probably about 2 miles away from our campsite. I've already discovered there are places where you cannot fly these drones, national parks being the big one. But pretty much anything that is operated by the National Park Service, and that includes natural bridges, National Monument, which is just downstream from here, is another one of those locations. I'm currently editing this video from just outside of just west of Arches National Park. And I was looking at all those beautiful landscapes off in the distance and thinking, okay, I know where I'm going to fly the drone next. Nope. The national park was closer than I thought it was. And the places I was looking at are actually in the national park boundary. Oh well. The very next morning, we got on our e-bikes and made our way down the road, heading towards Natural Bridge's National Monument. That, and it's a big, massive bridge. Sipapu Natural Bridge. That's why we didn't come into the park on Easter Sunday, Resurrection Day. Resurrection Sunday. And some people are calling this Earth Day. I'm going to call it Creation Day. I'm going to celebrate God's creation. So we started from up there. The trail is somewhere up there, about where that raven is flying. And so, as of now, we are even in elevation with the arch. All right, looks like the last ladder. And look at where we are. Sipapu Natural Bridge. This one's really thick. It's probably about 12 to 20 feet thick. Not like the one we were at yesterday. That was only like 6 feet thick. This one looks a bit more stout, but awesome, majestic, amazing. Wow. And once you get down here on beautiful days like today, you can take the wash and you can go in different directions to see some different features of White Canyon. Some other bridges downstream, of course, would take you to some of the other ones, one of which we visited on this same trip while riding our bikes. And this particular trip, we actually drove our truck in part to take this hike right here. And by the time we got out of here, it was pretty hot. So we decided to forego another very popular, very beautiful arch. But that trip would have been in the sun pretty much the whole time. And this trip right here was enough morning sun for us, and it wasn't going to get any cooler. The sun's not even that intense today, but it sure is nice to get back to the shade. And we made it back to shade, which is really nice. The sun's not really that intense today, but it was hot.
When you're hiking up.
And so, so we're going to hang out here for a little while. From this point down, there's very little shade until you get to the arch. Then there's all kinds of shade.
That's probably why they built their little house there behind you.
Yeah. But here's the house.
You didn't realize it was right behind you?
I forgot.
You can see why they built it here.
Yeah.
Probably going to get shade all day.
We were here at the end of April. There were some nice flowers. Then there was ladders and stairs. Some of them make it really easy to access this area, but sometimes the trail was pretty slick, pretty rough, and you got to watch your step. Not for the faint of heart. The trail down to the bottom of the canyon and back up does ask a lot of a climber. Use your best judgment when taking on these trails or when getting close to the cliff's edge. And this elevation shows you what to expect on the climb up and down. Recording, I hope this works.
We're going to be talking tomorrow.
All right. So whoever made this bike rack be like, no one's ever going to have wide tires on their bike. And there it is. That is a very cool bridge. This bridge was the highlight of our journey due to its thin profile. That's it. I don't think it's going to come across very good in video, but we're going to go hike down to it. Amongst all this awesomeness. Owachomo Bridge. Here we come. So how does that thin little arch stay together? Bridge. Yeah. Bridge is a more appropriate name, I think. At its max, it's probably about 6 feet thick, or 2 meters.
The minimum in the middle?
Well, if it's, let's just say it's 2 meters. That would mean it's 6 feet, 6 inches, and 3/4 of an inch. Things carpenters need to know.
Wind erosion or earthquake or something. Wow.
Now I can't wait to see landscape arch. It's even thinner.
Ooh.
I'm just going to do a little bit of video. Then I'm going to put the phone away and enjoy this. Me, enjoying the moment. This is a much more gradual hike than the Sipapu Natural Bridge. Still a bit rough in some spots, but they did a pretty good job of making a nice trail. There's just a couple areas where you want to be really careful and consider whether or not you want to continue down, because you got to go back up, but just not quite as far. It seems that they had a machine available to them that would actually cut the stone into really nice, uniform, flat, and safe steps. Goodbye, Arch. Hello, lizard. Look at you go. And off you go. And when you're out there, you'll probably find that you appreciate a lot more than just the feature you went for. So after 2 days of riding our e-bikes and then driving the truck into the park, we packed our stuff up and hit the road again. Sweet home. Oh. Woo! Yay!
Yay!
Heading into the sun that morning on our way out, heading east, but still some amazingly beautiful territory that we had gone through. Yep. There's another reason we do this. We love to hit the road and see really cool things. You gotta appreciate a well-maintained road. And back on 191, heading north towards Moab. Now here was a really nice stop.
Awesome.
Okay, look where we are now. That thing, Wilson Arch. So when you go to Wilson Arch, you don't get it to yourself. It's just right off the highway. Parking space on both sides of the road.
Yep, and the knucklehead who painted 5 needs to go back to their country.
Right.
Jerks.
If you're gonna leave stuff like this on here, then there's no universe in which we want to even acknowledge it.
It's just this year too, which is really sad. Come on, people.
Yeah, it's a real shame that people need to come here and think that they need to leave a mark. We don't need to know who you are, what you have to say, what mark you want to leave. We're not here for that. We're here for God's creation, this natural beauty, and we love it. This is one of those places where the walk up is very short, but can also be very challenging. There's a lot of slick rock, made even slicker, of course, by the sand that gets blown over the rock, or that slowly slides down over the rocks. Another fantastic stop on our journey, Wilson Arch. Time to hit the road, and when you're driving through this kind of country, it is very enjoyable. Yeah, we went right past Hole in the Wall. We're not really into tourist traps. Some of them can be kind of cool, but we're actually here for the natural beauty. Leaving Moab, crossing over the Colorado River, we're just mesmerized by the amazing landscape around us, beautiful rock formations, a bunch of intense red, and just enjoying a really, really nice road trip till we got to our turnoff. And this road was slow going, and it was rough. And even though the dash cam had picked it up, I just left it out. And arriving at an ideal campsite with a nice wind block, we have reached our destination. To be continued.